that the person wanted to be friends with me because I guess I'm an amazing person and
Where are you now that I need you?
आई थिंक हम लोग को थोड़ा ब्रीफ कर देना चाहिए ऑडियंस को ही. So I'll just brief the listeners a little bit about what we're doing today. So we are going to be talking about some of the issues that revolve around mental health. They affect your mental health directly or indirectly, but they're not that serious that you can call them a mental disorder or a serious condition as such. For example, we have anxiety, and not the clinical anxiety, but the general anxiety that we all face. Issues like body shaming issues and many more issues that we're going to be talking about today. So let's start. And the issue that I am going to be talking about is anxiety. So the anxiety that I've faced mostly is, I don't know if there's this term for it, but I call it the performer's anxiety. So what happens is many of us are also performers in here in this podcast. For example, Mahi and Dorika, you both dance, so you both might also face this kind of an anxiety. So मेरे को स्पेसिफिकली क्या होता है इसमें कि just before, at that moments, a few moments before a performance, just just 10 minutes before a performance, you're like, "Okay, I don't think I'm fully prepared for this," and you're like, "What if I mess up? What if I mess up the a step or a beat or something? What if my voice cracks in between?" For me, it is singing, so I'll say in from that perspective, कि what if my voice cracks while I sing? तो ऐसे ऐसे थॉट्स आते हैं. तो मेरे को जो सिम्टम्स आते हैं मोस्टली वो होते हैं कि मे बी कि जब तुम ब्रीथ करते हो तो तुम शॉर्ट ब्रेथ्स लेने लग जाते हो कंपेरेटिवली. जब नॉर्मल कंडीशन में और एनजाइटी की कंडीशन में तुम्हें डीप ब्रेथ लेनी चाहिए थोड़ी, तुम वो नहीं करते हो. और मेरे साथ होता है कि मेरे हाथ बहुत ज़्यादा कोल्ड हो जाते हैं और चेस्ट में अजीब सा एक पेन सा फील होता है, मतलब अजीब सा पेन होता है, चेस्ट पेन सा ही होता है. तो ये दो तीन चीज़ें होती है जिसकी वजह से तुम कंफर्ट में नहीं रह पाते हो, तो तुम्हारी परफॉर्मेंस तो वैसे ही गिर जाती है. तो जो भी तुम्हारी परफॉर्मेंस होने वाली होती है उससे डिक्रीज हो जाती है. और ये किसी भी चीज़ में हो सकता है. एज इन अगर तुम कोई प्रेजेंटेशन करने वाले हो, मेरे से उससे पहले भी होता था, और मेरे को पब्लिक स्पीकिंग में भी होता था, मेरे को परफॉर्मेंसेस में तो होता ही था. एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो द रीजन दैट आई हैव नेवर परफॉर्म्ड इन स्कूल लाइफ, और आई हैव नेवर स्पोकन मच इन माई स्कूल लाइफ ऑल्सो. बट अब आई थिंक मैंने इसको कुछ सर्टन डिग्री तक मैंने इसको ओवरकम कर लिया है. अभी भी होता है, अभी भी कोई बहुत मैसिव इवेंट है तो मेरे को होगा, बट मैं इसको कंट्रोल में रख सकता हूँ मेरे हिसाब से. तो मेरे ही तो जो भी ट्रिक्स होती है ना, वो बेसिकली ये है कि अगर तुम कोई प्रेजेंटेशन देने वाले हो या फिर अगर तुम कोई परफॉर्मेंस करने वाले हो, तो सबसे पहले तो तुम्हें उसके लिए बहुत अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस करनी चाहिए, एटलीस्ट एक हफ्ते से पहले से ही, एक एक चीज की, छोटी से छोटी चीज की, ताकि उस टाइम पे तुम्हें ये ना लगे कि अब तो तुम अनप्रिपेयर्ड हो. तुम्हें वो शॉक नहीं आना चाहिए 5 मिनट पहले कि ये शुरू होने वाला है और आई एम नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दिस. तो उसके लिए मैं, मतलब मेरे को याद है कि जब हमारी प्रेजेंटेशन होती थी कॉलेज में, हमारा एक सब्जेक्ट था, तो उसमें हर बच्चे को अपनी अपनी एक प्रेजेंटेशन करनी होती थी, इंडिविजुअल प्रेजेंटेशन होती थी, एंड वी वर बीइंग ग्रेडेड ऑन दैट. तो उस टाइम की बात है, फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर की. तो एज आई सेड, आई वाज नॉट रियली गुड इन पब्लिक स्पीकिंग ड्यूरिंग स्कूल टाइम. तो मेरे लिए कॉलेज में भी वो बहुत बड़ी डील थी, एक प्रेजेंटेशन देना 10 मिनट के लिए एटलीस्ट. तो उस टाइम तक मैंने मैंने मतलब बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत की थी उस प्रेजेंटेशन. मतलब आई वॉज लिटरली राइटिंग डाउन ईच लाइन कि मुझे इसको बोलना है, ऐसे बोलना है, और फिर उसकी बार बार प्रैक्टिस करते रहना. तो वो चीज़ बहुत हेल्प करती है तुम्हारी एंजाइटी को, परफॉर्मेंस एंजाइटी को, तो आई थिंक. और हाँ, मतलब डीप ब्रेथ लेना तो बहुत हेल्प करता है तुम्हें, क्योंकि जैसा मैंने बोला कि तुम जब शॉर्ट ब्रेथ लेते हो तुम्हारी बॉडी को इनफ ऑक्सीजन नहीं आती, और आई गेस उसकी वजह से ये बाकी सिम्टम्स हो सकते हैं, जैसे चेस्ट पेन हो गया और बॉडी कोल्ड हो जाती है थोड़ी, वो सब चीज़ें. तो तुमको डीप ब्रेथ तो लेनी ही चाहिए. हाँ, यही सब. मैं तो यही चीज़ें फॉलो करता हूँ एंजाइटी के लिए. हाँ, बस. दिस इज हाउ आई कीप माई एंजाइटी इन चेक.
I'd
पूछना है तो
like
पूछ सकते हैं.
to add up to this point. I've faced anxiety as well. So matlab, I'm not a person who's suffocated with choti spaces. But then recently I've discovered कि suddenly ऐसे होता है कि I'm not able to breathe properly. It affects my anxiety as well. मतलब, it makes me sad. Or but then मतलब, I try to go out and then I try to take fresh air and long walks. It helps a lot. So that's the only point I wanted to add.
Whether do you think that you have overcome your anxiety? Do you think you have some degree of control over it?
I think I do. Actually, I don't compare myself to anyone else, but me, of course, because there's no point in comparing yourself, your story from anyone else, right? So if you compare me from my past self, in my school life, I've never done any performances or anything. But in colleges, I've done a lot of things that have really pushed me out of my comfort zone and also helped me with the anxiety. So uh, these are the things that I've learned while I was doing all this. Like, there's no easy way to learn all this. You can't just learn the theory and expect yourself to one day be fearless. You'll just have to go into the fear and submit yourself and then see what happens. Like, I remember the first open mic that I did, I was singing a song only. So it was a small crowd, not a big crowd. So I went on performing, and on the stage, my voice was trembling literally, and my hands were also shaking. I was playing guitar, and my voice is trembling, and I'm singing. But still, I stayed for the whole song and I sang the whole song. And at the start, and I think being truthful really helps you. Like at the start, I was like, "This is my first open mic. This might be bad, so just stay with me, guys." ऐसा करके. So this also really helps. Just say what's on your mind. So that also lightens you up. And yeah, I've done a lot of performances that I think went really well compared to my school life. So I think yeah, I've overcome it drastically at this point.
I agree with what you said there. Actually, I've also experienced performance anxiety that, and one very beneficial advice my friend gave to me was that you should, yes, that you mentioned very correctly mentioned that you should just stay. If you cannot stay calm, it is fine, but you should experience all these factors, shortness of breath, and if you just experience it, it will phase out. So that is that because we try to escape these things, and I think just living through that experience will make your anxiety go, will help you control
Make
it.
stronger.
It will tell you that, oh, I mean, I was just making a big deal out of it. I think I can live it. So I
Yeah.
guess that has been very beneficial for me.
Guys, I'm Gorka.
And I'm Nandini, and we both are going to share our experiences on body shaming issues. And our experiences differ from each other on the criteria that she has been skinny shamed and I have been fat shamed.
Okay, so I'd like to share my experience with body shaming. I have been body shamed since I was a kid, and I was told that there's a particular image of body that you have to have. So that was in my mind for like around half of my childhood, and my the people who triggered me the most were my relatives. Like from the start, they've always any party, any get together, anytime we've met, they've always used to remind me that I am skinny and I don't look like other girls. I don't look like my sisters. I don't look like my mother. So they triggered me the most.
For me, the triggering event has to be the comments of my friends, and they not just acquaintances, but the fact that they were very close to me, and they making comments about my flaws, body type, really affected me. They thought that they had the right to tell me that, oh, you are fat, and that is not okay, but I am skinny and that is okay. So that has been the most triggering part for me. But then okay, then later on, my comments made by my family members also affected me. I cannot remember very specific comments now. This is all about our triggering events. Okay, so Varika, how did it affect your mental health?
I was compared with my friends. So like my friends look their age, and I was told that I don't look my age, and they look their age. So I was not in the right space to go to the parties, I avoided them. I was like, no. I used to make excuses, but the main thing was that I didn't want to click pictures with them. I didn't want it to feel like I was younger than them or something like that, because my family we used to see them our pictures together, and they used to say that देखो कितनी बड़ी लग रही है वो, उसकी एज की लग रही है, खुद को देखो कहाँ बच्ची लग रही है बिल्कुल, और ऐसे ऐसे करके. So that affected me a lot, a lot.
For me, I think it really did affect my confidence to a high degree. Matlab, if I was very interested in any activity I would like to participate in, but I did not have enough confidence to go up to the teacher or to someone who's the in charge. And about coping or dealing with it was because of these issues I started to gain interest in working out. So I started researching about body weight training, which is also called calisthenics, and about weight training and running and jogging. So I started exercising and researching about it because of these issues. But later on, I realized that it is a very great way to release stress. For my stress buster, I always would want to go and work out or go jogging. It later became a part of my life, but this was the starting point when I realized that, oh, Abhi, I have had enough. I've seen girls comparing their waistlines and their measuring their with. मतलब इससे ऊपर कुछ बचा ही नहीं है अभी, यही करेंगे बैठ के. तो फिर till the age of I guess 17, I was not confident enough. I thought I was not good enough, and I thought that okay, let's just get over with school and stuff, and then I'll work on my body and all. And but that also made me keep myself at a distance. Just cutting them out of your life is, I think, the best way, or else, I mean, the relations cannot be as smooth.
Okay, Gaurika, now could you please tell us how did you cope up with it?
So my relatives and my cousins used to make fun of me, and they used to tell me things like, "Do you even eat? Are you living on air?" Which affected me, which like really affected me, and I started overeating. I overeated to an extent that I started vomiting, and it made me feel nauseous. Then my mom stopped me, and mom was like, "You're okay. You're normal. Okay. You don't have to do things like this. This will not make you fat, or this will not give you the perfect body type. You need to stop. Okay. You don't have to overeat." Then I was like, overeating से कुछ नहीं होगा. Like overeating करने से सिर्फ तबीयत खराब होगी और कुछ भी नहीं होगा. So I stopped, and I started thinking that what things can make me feel good about myself. Like what makes me feel good about myself. So I still today, when anything triggers me, I just go in front of the mirror, I stand, and I speak to myself that you're okay, you're normal, and everyone is beautiful in your own way. You don't have to have a particular body type as per the beauty standards that have been set by the society. So I just tell that to myself every day.
And now I'll talk about my story. I was in a toxic friendship, and just because I didn't want to lose that person, I accepted everything that the person said. At that time, I didn't know what toxicity meant because I haven't been through that phase ever. Whatever that person did to me, I didn't know that was wrong. I know that I felt bad towards that thing. Like I used to cry at nights and stuff. Nobody knew about it. None of my family members, nobody. So they had no clue what was going because I felt like they didn't want to hear it as such. So I never shared them anything. So basically, I was alone and going through all of this. Later on, like before 3 months before ending that friendship, I started to realize whatever things were wrong. I got to know, okay, this thing is wrong, it is termed as toxic and I need to get out of it. But I was totally confirmed that I didn't want to be friends with that person anymore. But the person wanted to be friends with me because I guess I'm an amazing person and they wanted me to be in their life. But getting out of the situation alone was a big thing for me. I think that I was very strong to get out of such a situation alone. Um, and the people that have went through this friendship phase, being alone is all okay. At a certain point, you'll get to realize that the person was not good for you, and you deserve a lot more than that.
Where are you now that I need you?